Hello everyone, a very good morning, good afternoon and good evening to all of the viewers from around the world. This is your host Vaibhav. In today's session of JForex Indicators Explained, we will be looking at the interesting indicator. The name is Donchian channel. This is a volatility measuring indicator which tries to help us in determining the kind of volatility is there, and along with that we can also use it for finding in the directional movement. So we can use it both ways to figure out the direction of the trend as well as the underlying volatility in relative terms. We can compare the current volatility with the prior volatility, that is historical volatility as well. And this indicator is simple to interpret, simple to use, and also equally simple to understand and customize. So let us now head to the JForex for the newly released trading platform from the Dukascopy Bank SA. I have added the Donchian channel indicator with the hourly candle period, and this is the chart for Euro USD. This indicator takes into consideration the high and the low formed over a given time period. So if, for example, here the calculation period is 20, in that case, whatever has been the high and the low for last 20 candles, that will be considered. So we get a range, and then we can compare that range with the prior range to determine if the volatility is more or less or just on an average, depending on what kind of range is prevalent currently and its historical levels. So this indicator then can be utilized to look for the directional basis as well. If we have the formation of higher highs and higher lows, of course that indicates the bullishness of the sentiments, and if we have the formation of lower lows and lower highs, then in that case the formation is considered to be bearish. Along with that, we can also have the good idea of the consolidation phase. If there is no clarity, no significant movement in any single direction in that kind of scenario, like what we have presently, where there is contraction, there is no directional basis, even in this kind of scenario, this indicator helps you figure out the trading opportunities. All you have to do is keep in mind the range, and depending on that range you can then figure out the opportunities to trade with. So this indicator is mainly based on the min max or minimum and maximum value formed over the calculation period. So this indicator then takes into account the directional and both volatility factors. Now coming to its customization options, we have this indicator which can be edited the way we feel like. As its concept is fairly simple, I was able to explain to you fairly easily and in quick time. Now we turn to the editing option given to us on this platform. So we can utilize this calculation period. We can vary it. Suppose if you are a trader who likes to trade on lower time frames, then you can decrease or increase this calculation period. And also, depending on what kind of candle period you are using, you have to define these time periods. So the candle period then gets multiplied by this time period. And suppose, for example, we are using hourly as the candle period. So if I keep time period as 20, then we will be looking at the price volatility of last 20 hours, and depending on that we will be getting a idea of the momentum of the underlying instrument and its volatility in relative terms. If we make it say 24, then for last 24 hours we have this indicator in place giving us the idea of the trend and the range of the trend as well. So here we have the formation of lower highs, but at the same time the lows haven't really been that low. So you can say more or less that the consolidation is happening with the bias being on the bearish side. So that way you can use it for figuring out the trend as well as the strength of the trend. So you can say that the momentum is bearish, but there is not enough of strength. So it is better to short it closer to its high range. And since we are utilizing the price data of last 24 hours, we know where the day's range is and how we can exploit that range to our advantage. So that is one utility, one benefit of working with this indicator. You can also go back in time and see how far, how much volatility it has currently and how much volatility it usually has. So you can get a historical perspective as well. Simply you have to do is get the observation and then compare this range over the given time period, and you get an idea of how things are working out. So it's simple as that. Now, if we want to figure out the opportunities to trade with, we can take the help of this range defined. So unless there is any significant break on the either side, suppose if we are using this to define the momentum as bearish with consolidation bias, then all you have to do is short it closer to the upper range, and if you don't really want to go against the trend, in that case you can avoid buying it on the lower side. But if you feel that it is anyway into a consolidation phase and it is not likely to drop much, in that case you can also attempt some buying trades closer to the low of the range. So both ways it can work, and of course the consolidation factor is there, so you want to get involved only after due consolidation. In that case, it is much useful to work with this indicator to define the range, and also for a stabilization factor. Whenever one particular low or high is made, you will want to wait it out and see how far that particular high or low holds, and if it holds for significant enough time, only after that you would like to take the new trade, initiate the new trade. So you can work with this indicator in that manner as well. So it is a multi-purpose indicator and you can customize it the way you feel like. That's the beauty of the Donchian channel. Now, if we want to edit it further, we have the options now. 24 I am using for figuring out the range for the last 24 hours. But if we are a short-term trader, then in that case we would like to know how things are playing out on the hourly or 4 hourly time frame. So for that I'm now changing this candle period to 5 minutes. Okay, and here the range is for 48 48 multiplied by 5, so that's 240 minutes. 240 minutes stand for 4 hours. So we have now the range for 4 hours. So if you are a intraday trader, you will get a good idea of how things stand currently, and taking that into account, you can then figure out the opportunities to trade with. So there is an indicator which can be used on lower time frames as well as on the larger time frames. You can use it for intraday swing trades as well as for positional trading. So in most of these scenarios, it will work fine. All you have to do is get the time frame right and define the range for that particular calculation period. Okay, coming to the editing options again. The output, we get actually three outputs for this: high, low, and the middle. Middle band is simply the average of the high and low. So we add high and low price and then divide it by 2, and that's how we get the middle band. And if you want to use a different color combination, you are free to do so. Okay, so here it is. Now, this is how the system is working out with this middle band, giving us idea of what the range is and where is the median price. And keeping that median price in mind, we can then define the range or define the trend also. Suppose if we have a predefined range, then we can use it as a determining factor also, this middle band. if the price action is happening in the upper band above the middle band and within this upper band, then we can consider it to be bullish. And if we have the price action mostly concentrated on the lower side, then that can be of course considered bearish. So this indicator can be utilized that way as well. So that's added utility for the indicator. All right. Now coming to the editing options again. Output value, levels. Levels, since there is an unbounded indicator depending on the underlying instrument's price volatility, we can't really define any significant levels for this. We can't find out levels which are going to hold all the time. But if you are interested in going for some levels which might hold for a shorter time frame, then you can get that level by observation and then add it here. So that way it is going to work. Coming to the advanced editing option, if you want the output value of the indicator to remain constant throughout the candle calculation period for the current candle period, then in that case you have to opt in for this. So whatever is the applied price, it is not going to cause much an impact even if it keeps varying throughout the current candle period. We will have the value of the indicator defined in a fixed manner, what depending on what was the open price for that particular candle period, and it will remain so. And only when new candle formation takes place, we will have the change in the output value for the indicator. So it brings in stability. That's the only factor working with that particular setting. Highlight the time period zone. Whatever is your calculation period can also be highlighted to make it easier for you to remember what calculation period you are using. The customization can also be done for the instrument, candle period, and the spread side. Whichever instrument you are using from the chart, that can be utilized for trading opportunities to work with this indicator. So if you change this chart instrument, say for example to NZUSD, then in NZUSD chart you will have this indicator plotted as well. So this indicator is going to be available with almost all of the instruments which are supported on the platform. So you can use it on forex, currency crosses, commodities, indices, and other financial instruments also. So this is a indicator which is supported for most of the instruments. Okay, now coming back to USD JPY, let me change it to Euro GBP USD. So we have this indicator plotted for GBP USD as well. So almost all of these instruments are supported. Now I will revert it back to Euro USD. Calculate from custom data. The candle period can be kept fixed or it can be used from the chart. Suppose if you want to keep it fixed to 1 hour, even though the chart's candle period is 5 minutes, you can do that as well. So here, regardless of what is the chart's candle period, we will have the calculation of this indicator done as per the predefined value. So that is how this indicator is going to work out for you. Now I will restore it to use from the chart. The spread side, we get this ask and bid, two options, and there will be slight difference depending on what kind of applied price you use. Okay, show indicator on all the spreads, whatever is the charts candle period. If you want it to be available, you can do that, else you have to define on which candle period this indicator should be available. only on that time frame it will be available. Now that we have said that only on 15 minutes we want this indicator to be available, so only on 15 minutes it is visible. But if I changing the chart to say 5 minutes or other candle period, it is not visible there. Okay, so that's how this system works out. So guys, that's all from my side for today's session. If any of you have any query or any idea to share, you can write back to me in the feedback section and I will be more than happy to take the discussion forward. For further coverage of the market developments, do check out the Dukascopy Analytics page. We are also available on the Facebook. You can reach out to us there too. For trying out this newly released trading platform, I have included the link in the bio. So give it a try and let me know how it works out for you. Thank you all for joining in. I will be back on Monday with a new indicator, new combination, new formation. So do come back. See you on Monday. Have a happy weekend. Goodbye.